right, how's everyone doing today? Hope everyone is having a good Sunday. What's up to the chat? I will show them the new tattoos here in a moment. Hope everyone's good. Looks like we got a bunch of people watching already. Let's get the video to like 50 likes. And let's get this shit popping. Hope everyone had a good weekend. Hope everyone's ready to talk about some shit. Yo. What's up, Twitch chat? What's up, YouTube chat? All right, so welcome back. Let's get 50 likes on the video, guys. Come on. Over 250 people watching. Let's go. Do you do a few neck reps before the videos? No, I don't. I can't go to the gym right now. My arm is heavily fucked from the tattoo. So I'll give you guys a quick little tattoo update here. So we got, as you guys know, I already had the bottom part of the sleeve done, right? So I got the back there. We got the front here. So I got this dope little thing in here done. I got this dope little tattoo here done. And then I got my whole fucking shoulder fucking blasted as well. So yeah, it was a lot of tattooing. It was painful, but it was totally worth it. I'm not done yet. I still got 16 more hours. I got 2 more 8-hour sessions to go. So we're going to be filling in, the back of my arm, inside of my bicep. I kind of like the, sticker style, shit. So I don't want it to be kind of fully just, all blacked out and shit. But I'm really excited with how it's turning out. But the worst part is my artist uses this second skin thing that they'll leave on for a few days. So it's just annoying because I can't really bend my arm and shit. I can't go to the gym. It's really, really fucking up the vibes. But yeah, let's get into the video, guys. I appreciate the nice comments about the tattoo. It is very rare. So shout out to Bybit. I've been partnering up with them on these streams for a long time now. We've got over, I think, 70 episodes now of Ethereum and Chill, which is pretty crazy every Sunday. So really proud of what we've been doing here, guys, and Bybit's been supporting me along the way. So shout out to them. You can still sign up for the World Series of Trading. There's up to $7.5 million US in prize money. So pretty exciting stuff. You want to test your trading chops out against some of CT's finest. Sign up, link in the description. All the info you need is there. So shout out to Bybit. So today we're going to be doing the usual, right? We're going to focus on Bitcoin and Ethereum. We'll check out Ethereum BTC, and we're also going to discuss the kind of hype around NFTs that we're seeing right now. And I can kind of give you guys my thoughts as someone who has, dipped their toes into the NFT world, but I am an admitted crypto boomer. I moved pretty slow on some of this stuff. I was super late to DeFi. I was super late to NFTs. I actually had a punk at one point, and I sold it for fucking a disgustingly low amount, and I don't even like to look anymore because it makes me sick. Yeah, we'll talk about all that. And then obviously, if you have any questions, anything like that, you can ask it in the chat. So what we did last time that worked really well, guys, just to help me kind of keep up with the chat, is save your altcoin requests for the end, okay? Because what happens is everyone spams their altcoins throughout the entire fucking video, and then I completely lose track of the chat. Then I get pissed off because I have very low levels of patience and I just skip through a bunch of shit. So if you have questions about stuff that I'm talking about, ask those during the stream. At the end of the stream, I will tell you guys to spam the chat with your altcoin requests, and I'll pick a couple of them and we'll go over them. All right? So with all that kind of good shit out of the way, let's get into it. Yes, I did turn up the saturation on the camera because I'm pale. So this helps me look a little bit more tan. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit salty right now seeing all the homies chilling in Miami while I'm sitting here in fucking Canada, and I can already tell it's about to start raining for 4 straight fucking months. But yeah, ask me how I really feel about it. So let's get going. We're coming into an important weekly close, I would say, on Bitcoin here. Because I do think if we are able to kind of maintain this bullish momentum, we're absolutely going to blast through 50K. And we will probably go up to, kind of my next level of interest, which is 55K. So what I'll do here first is I'll give you kind of just a quick top down of where these key levels come from. And then we can kind of talk about, what I think are some potential setups for this coming week. We actually had a Ethereum long that we talked about in last week's stream play out, and a Bitcoin long that we talked about in last week's stream play out perfectly. So if you want to go watch last week's stream and in its entirety, it's up on YouTube. Also, the condensed version of the stream is also up there. So shout out to my editor who's been crushing it, getting those condensed streams up for you guys. I really think they're beneficial because some people don't have 2 hours to hear me yell about how I'm going to beat up BitBoy. So if you just want the condensed stream, that's available for you. It's only about 30 minutes. And if you go look, the last 2 setups we talked about for Bitcoin and ETH both played out perfectly this week. So go check that out and you can kind of do the reverse engineering yourself. I also went super into detail last stream regarding refining your levels down from a high time frame right to a low time frame where you can execute as low as the 15-minute chart. So check that shit out. Like if you're interested in how I trade, I gave you a huge part of my system in the last video. All you got to go do is watch it. And the BitBoy edit was absolutely hilarious. I don't know where I come up with this shit, and my editor does a really good job of just kind of chopping shit up and making me seem a lot funnier than I probably am. So with all that shit out of the way, we can look at the weekly chart here to start. The weekly chart is absolutely, looking pretty fucking bullish. This candle, which yesterday was looking a little bit shittier, looks like it might even close green. So if we zoom in here just a little bit, the open of this candle is 49,267. So if we close the weekly in a little over an hour above 49,267, this candle will actually close green with a nice lower wick here. It's hard to short right now. I've tried to take a few shorts. I saw a short potentially, playing out yesterday, but I don't know. It's scary to short this kind of strength. And I do think we're kind of at a level here at 50K where if it breaks, we get one of those, big body candles similar to what happened here, right? Once we broke above this kind of resistance, we had a huge candle the next week. And I wouldn't be surprised if, we break above this kind of 50K resistance here, that we get a big body candle that pushes us up into kind of this 55K area. This is the next area of interest for me. So why is this an area of interest for me? This is the bearish order block that caused the down move, that broke market structure, that shifted market structure to the downside. So if you're in a downtrend here, right? And then this is your key market structure level. This would be the order block, right? That broke the level. So if it gets back here, this is an area where you look for sells, right? Assuming that the trend is going to continue down. Or if we flip this area, you then assume that the trend has shifted. Now we're targeting this high. So what does that look like in actuality? What does that look like on the chart? That would be effectively this is the order block, right? Here is your uptrend. Here is your shift to a downtrend. So our anticipation is continuation. We broke market structure majorly on the weekly to the downside. So the anticipation on a first test of this area is actually rejection. It doesn't necessarily have to make a lower low, but we definitely expect, excuse me, some kind of rejection at this level, especially on the first touch. So what we're waiting to see is what is price going to do when it gets here. It seems to me like this is the magnet on price. That's why I have the magnet here. You got your little rookie fucking magnet here. Look at this, arts and craft skills. I failed art strong. But this looks to me like the draw for price based on the weekly is that we're at least going to come up and test this level. We do have a fair value gap here between here and here that we have now, kind of filled in some of. So fair value gap effectively just means between these two levels, there was only downward price action, right? There was no upward price action at all until that little wick there. So that generally, that's what, I've learned as to be called a fair value gap, and generally those gaps get filled at least partially. So we're in a very, very important area based on how I trade between this fair value gap here and then the break and then the bearish order block here. I know this is a huge price zone and you're like, Mayne, this is, $10,000 of price. I'm not saying just short it with your stop here. What I'm saying is this area is an area where we need to be cautious in terms of a potential reversal. If we're going to have a high time frame reversal, it will happen within this area. We are not going to do this and then make a lower low. That's not going to happen. If we're going to reject really hard, it happens, in my opinion, somewhere in here. And what we'll look for on the low time frame is confirmation that the market indeed wants to shift trend. Remember what we talked about in the last couple of streams: high time frame order flow and then working your way down through the time frames, right? Almost like you have a microscope, right? And you're zooming in, zooming in, zooming in, right? Zoom out, zoom out, zoom out. So you zoom out to get kind of the big picture and then you zoom in to get the detail. So the way it works with trading is, remember, right, if this is your high time frame on the weekly, I'm just going to actually use the blackboard here. If our high time frame weekly trend is up, right, this is the weekly, that means that the daily is going to be looking something like this, right? Right? So within these large weekly swings, there's going to be periods of down on the daily. But the trades that we want to get into, this might not even be the daily. This might look more like the H4 or something. But the trends we want to get into are not counter trends, because even though the H4 here is making lower lows and lower highs, we're expecting the weekly to continue its bullish momentum. So the highest probability trades, the trades with the highest expectancy, the trades that are going to give you the juice, the big move that you want, are going to be trades that are in line with the high time frame trend. So we're not trying to short here. We're trying to get long for this leg based on the weekly coming into support and being bullish. And so what we do is we zoom in to the low time frame and we say, okay, the H4 is making lower lows and lower highs, and then boom, it makes a higher high. Now the H4 has shifted bullish, which is back in line, right? Imagine this price action is happening right here. So it's downtrending on the H4. It comes into weekly support, and then it shifts bullish, which means it's back in line with the weekly time frame. And that is going to be the move that we want to catch, right? We want to be in line with the high time frame order flow. And those are going to give you your best trades. And the way that you do that is by zooming in and looking for the low time frame to shift market structure first. The weekly chart is going to take longer to shift than the daily, which is going to take longer than the 4 hour, longer than the hourly. So if I'm waiting for the weekly to shift bearish, let's assume that we come up here and we ultimately do this. What we are going to see in this little white box here is we're going to see the low time frame start shifting bearish, the hourly, the H4, ultimately the daily, before the weekly even starts to turn around. So that's why it's so hard to catch, right? The weekly candle might just be like this. The weekly candle might just do this, right? Boom, and then it might be one big candle down. And you go, well, how the hell was I supposed to catch that? On the low time frame, there is going to be bearishness forming, bearish market structure. On the hourly, the 4 hour, the H12, the daily, it's going to start shifting bearish in here. That is your clue that perhaps this weekly trend of a potential downtrend is intact and we're going to actually be trading much lower. So the market structure shifts on the low time frame first, okay? Market structure shifts on the low time frame first, and that is how you get your clue whether or not we're going to see continuation of the high time frame trend. So that is kind of why we're in a very tricky area here, because as much as everything looks awesome, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 green weekly candles in a row. This is an area that I want to be paying attention. This is an area that I've talked about for months now, where if we get back up here, this is absolutely where you hedge your bets. This is absolutely where you take some profit on longs, and this is absolutely where you just protect yourself for potential downside. And the way you do that is by either shorting, maybe selling, closing some positions, adjusting stops, moving some cash to tether, whatever you got to do, because we might go up here and then we might come here, right? And then we might make a higher low right here and then go back up again. But you could protect yourself from this downside here if it's obvious, or catch a short. So this is a key area for me, and hopefully that explanation makes it clear why. We really, really, really want to be paying attention here in the coming days to weeks, I think, because if we break down from here and have a really nasty rejection, our next best bet is that this becomes a higher low, right? If we're bullish, this becomes a higher low, and we do something like that. Otherwise, if we come down here and we just look like shit, this could get ugly, obviously. Or if this breaks, like, you know, comes here and then just consolidates and then breaks up, this is like, holy shit, put on your astronaut suit. Like, we're going to, you know, 6-figure Bitcoin here. If we're able to flip this area, I would be very surprised if Bitcoin doesn't at least do like a 2x in price, because this is a weekly level, right? Liken it to this. When we broke this low, price got cut in half by like 50%, right? So if we break this high, I would expect expansion majorly to the upside. So the risk reward to be safe here is really fucking good, because if you start hedging your bets, you know, playing it safe here, if we break up, okay, you're out from 54K, let's say, to 58K, $4,000 per Bitcoin, where the potential downside, right, if we reject here hard, is like maybe $10,000 to $15,000 per Bitcoin, back into like 40K. So the risk reward there is, you know, at least a 2 to 3R, just, you know, hedging like this with a target of like here, just based on the weekly. And then the upside is also, you know, kind of great for you asymmetrically, because if we break up, you just get gig along again. You missed a $4,000 part of the move, but you caught most of this. You miss $4,000, and then you're back in again, right? So you do not have to catch the entire leg. You need to catch the meat of the move. And if you catch this and this, you've caught the meat of the move. This is, of course, you know, primarily from a trading viewpoint. Not so much, you know, an investing viewpoint. I mean, you should use the same logic and the same thought process when it comes to investing. You need to hedge your bets. You need to realize profit, things like that. And this is the optimal area where if we are going to actually continue trading down, right, it happens from here, right? It happens from this area. This is perfectly lined up for a reason. And if you go and look at every single retracement in the 2017 bear market, they all ended up between the 50 and the 79 and then made lower lows, right? So if this is going to be a complacency shoulder, whatever, it happens here, in my opinion. So what does that mean for you? It just means be prepared, right? Be prepared for any scenario, obviously, and be smart, right? Like, don't be max leverage long right into the first really, really significant weekly resistance that we have, right? Be smart. Does that make sense to you guys? The way those hands moves, you're fucking weird, dude. Stop looking at my hands, man. This show's all about the neck, not about the hands. Is everyone on the same page here? Okay, cool. Cool. So, in terms of, you know, high time frame shit, right? Like I definitely think the draw, like if we can pop through 50K, I think the draw is about 55K. So I think we could have one of those kind of 10%, moves. So what I've marked out here effectively is this order block right here. So this is an order block within that weekly order block that I think if the trend continues, right, this is where price wants to go. And I think it happens in a big way because right now the trend here, right, looking pretty bullish, right? If we break this high here, I think we go like this. So what does that mean for us as traders? What we're going to be doing is looking for opportunities to get long. I wouldn't be surprised if to start the week off in an hour, we get some sort of fuckery and then, some bullish price action out of it. So what I'm going to do is give you guys some potential setups that I see forming on the lower time frames to get long into 55K. And I'll also give you any sort of reason why I might short. I'll kind of lay that out for you as well. And then we can talk about Ethereum. But hopefully what I just explained makes sense to everyone because that is how I view the market, right? Top down, I look at the weekly. The weekly market structure is still bearish to me based on how I view the charts, right? The weekly market structure is this. This is your low here, right? Higher low, failed to make a higher high, made a lower low. So now our expectation is potentially a lower high. So that's why I'm just being cautious here. Someone is saying, you hurt my feelings. I'll go cry now. Please don't cry. This person's saying, why don't you just ape in and hope it goes to 100K? Because hope is not a fucking trading strategy. It's not a fucking plan. Hope is, fucking stupid, right? I don't hope that I'm right, right? I make an educated guess. I have a specific amount of risk I'm allocating towards that educated bet. And then I let it fucking ride. I don't hope. Hope means you don't have a plan, right? If you hope something happens and then it happens, you're fucking stoked. Well, what happens if it doesn't work out? What if you're hoping it goes to 100K and instead it rejects at 55K and it goes to 10K? What do? Where are you wrong? Where do you cut that trade, right? You have to have a plan. Hope is not a plan. The amount of DMs I get from fucking people being like, oh, I'm just hoping, my bags bounce back. Eliminate that type of, eliminate that shit from your vocabulary. If you want to trade and you want to invest, you need to do it in a systematic way, right? Obviously, there's people who are just holders, right? Who just buy and hold. And to be honest with you, a lot of you guys would probably make more money if you just bought and hold. The chances of you outperforming Bitcoin with your trading, especially early on, is slim to none. But I assume many of you are watching my streams because you want to learn how to trade. You want to learn how to get more systematic in your thought process on your investments and on the trades that you take. And that's why you're watching these streams. That's who these streams are targeted to. I always get people being like, just buy Bitcoin, bro, and hold. It's going up. It's like, great. That is not my target audience for what I'm sharing with you guys. I'm sharing this with you guys because I believe the people who watch this want to actually learn how to trade. Maybe you want this to become a side hustle for you, maybe a career. If you don't give a shit, just buy Bitcoin and fuck off, leave me alone. But yeah, I'm trying to give you guys, actionable information where you can go and study and back test and then hopefully get to a point where you can outperform the market. Because Bitcoin went from 3K to 60K. So if you would have bought the absolute bottom and sold the absolute top, you did a 20x. I did more than a 20x this bull run by trading. Most people will not do that, right? So you have to kind of know your place and know what you're trying to fucking do, right? Some of you might not be cut out for trading, and that's totally okay. But this is what my streams are kind of targeted at. People who want to learn to actually actively trade the market both up and down. Otherwise, why are you wasting 2 hours on your Sunday listening to me fucking yell at you if you're just buying Bitcoin and holding it and don't give a shit, right? Unless you just like looking at my face, which is totally understandable. Okay, cool. So let's talk about some short-term potential setups that we're looking at this week. So basically what I'm watching here right now is we have some resistance here that we were kind of trading into. Just gonna delete some of these little fucking levels here. Pardon my French. I swear so much, it's awful. I really got to work on that. You guys should start like a swear jar, and every time I say the F word, which is gonna be in insane amount of times, I don't know, I have to donate to it, and then we'll give the money to charity or some shit. I'll probably end up broke if that's the case, but fuck it. There you go. So we have this resistance here on the 12-hour. And what I'm kind of looking at, what the fuck happened there? Hold on, sorry guys. There we go. Delete you, delete you, delete you, and delete you, and all of these. So we came into this kind of 12-hour area of resistance here. And the trend is up, right? The trend is up. The only reason I was potentially looking for a short is this is resistance. So what do we do in resistance? We look for reasons why price might be rejecting and might want to trade lower, right? And at support, we look for reasons why price might be accepting the level of support and putting in some bullish market structures, some bullish triggers for us to get long. So to me, when we came up into this level, I said this is a worthwhile area to potentially look for shorts. And what we had here, so this is that 12-hour resistance here. What we had here is a level of resistance, right, on the 12-hour. And then we had a daily swing failure pattern. So effectively, I said, okay, if this is a daily SFP, perhaps we might see a little bit of a pullback before continuation to the upside, and we can get into a cheeky little short. So what I watched, right, once I had that level kind of spotted, I marked it out. I said, okay, let's zoom in and see if we get a market structure shift. So we did on the H12. We had this bearish order block form here, break market structure to the downside. So technically, this test here with your stop here is a short, right? And it played out, right? You had a rejection at the level and it came right into support here. There's a 12-hour breaker, but then it bounced back up. So what I was kind of anticipating potentially was a rejection and trading lower. So when we had this first rejection and then bounced back up, I said, okay, if we get continued bearishness at this level again, I might take a short with my stop here. And we did have that kind of ugly candle yesterday that I tweeted out about, right? Where we had this ugly SFP candle on the H12. So I was like, okay, that's further confirmation that maybe we're going to trade lower. But we've basically engulfed that candle today with some really strong PA. It was a candle on a Saturday. I don't generally like trading weekend price action. It's usually quite shitty. And it usually does exactly this, right? It usually just fakes out both sides. Like if you look at this candle on the H4, right? We basically, right, took out the highs, took out the lows, and now we're pushing back up. So if we kind of get above this wick now, I'm pretty sure that's going to be our trigger to trade this higher. But effectively, I was hoping that maybe this would roll over. Once we had this SFP, if we broke market structure to the downside, I was going to look to short it with my stop up here. But the way that this is just kind of curling up and not really rejecting makes me not want to take the short. So if you were in my Discord, I effectively said, you know, this is kind of the area where you would look for the short. And I don't know, it's looking pretty strong, right? Like this wick pushing right into it, and now we're pushing higher, makes me think that we're not going to reject here. Technically, based on my system, we did break down. You could take a short right now with your stop above the high with your target here. You could do that. We're 50 minutes until the weekly close. We had this really long wick, which I don't like because this shows to me like some buying pressure. So I'm personally not going to take the trade. Instead, I'm going to use my bearish invalidation, right? So this is my short stop, right? My bearish invalidation. That also would be a really good long entry, right? Because if I get stopped out on my bearishness, then my system is telling me that price wants to go higher. So I would actually look to flip long around this level, which is effectively 50K. So if we get some sort of strong close through this high, right, I'm looking to buy the dip. Or if we consolidate below it, right? Consolidate below it and then give me some sort of like, bullish trigger like this or something, I would be interested in getting long. So instead of taking a short here this close into the weekly close, I'm rather going to be watching my stop. And if that gets tagged and then we form some bullish market structure around that level, I'll actually get long targeting 55,000. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense why that I would do that. But it just doesn't look like it wants to really break down. I mean, ultimately, my idea for the short, which I was talking about in Discord last night, entry would be right here, target here. This is your invalidation. So could you take it right now? Absolutely. You could enter this short right now. Like this. It's a pretty nice looking, risk reward there. However, I don't just have a ton of confidence in this trade at the moment. So I'm not going to take it. It's Sunday. The weekly opens in 50 minutes. So I'm not really interested in entering a short when we're this close to a level that I think could kind of be a catalyst for a large up move. So I'm actually going to sit on my hands here. But this is the short setup that I was eyeing based on kind of the price action that we saw going in here. And I'll quickly break that down for you one more time just to make it super duper fucking clear, right? So we have 12-hour resistance here. We have our bearish SFP. This is that daily SFP, and we broke market structure on the 12-hour. So I'm now zooming into the 1 hour, and I'm looking for reasons to short. And what we had here is if you pull your fib from here to here, this is your 1 hour range. There's your OTE. There's your break in market structure. Here's another OTE right here. So this is effectively where I'd want to short with my stop above there, because that's that 12-hour SFP right here. And this would be kind of the setup, looking for continuation of that 12-hour trend, right? Because the 12-hour went like this, right? It broke a low. So on the retrace, we want to look on the hourly in here and see if there's signs that this wants to break down and we get short in anticipation of continuation of the 12-hour trend. So that's exactly what you're seeing right here. And I can pull the fibs to prove it. Why is this my fucking default fib? What the fuck is this? I've never seen this goddamn fib in my life. There's your 7-9. Here is your 7-9. Okay? So lots and lots and lots of confluence there. But yeah, not going to take the trade personally. Going to sit on my hands and wait here. But this would be the setup. So if this gets stopped out and we form bullishness above this kind of 49,650 level, I'll be looking to get long towards 50K. All right, so zooming out to the 12-hour here, effectively what we have is bullish market structure here and a higher low, right? And this is kind of our high on the 12-hour that needs to break for continuation. So the two long setups that I would be looking for on Bitcoin right now are here. Okay, I'm gonna zoom in one level here. So this is that invalidation for the short setup I was talking about. There's that swing failure pattern. So effectively, if we get above here and we start putting in bullish PA, right, that's your trigger to get long towards 55K, right? And that 55K level, remember, comes from right here. Fill in this gap here, right into that order block. And that's right into that weekly order block as well, right? That weekly order block right here. So that's what we're looking for. A break above this range would be a long trigger for me. Depending on how it happens, if we just do something like this, right, probably stop there. Otherwise, if we consolidate here and we give some sort of like sweep or anything that is like a fake out to the downside and then a reclaim, then that becomes your invalidation. But for now, this would be the invalidation. I don't think the bulls want to lose this low that we just formed here. So looking like it just wants to push. This is a very clear uptrend. I hope everyone can see that, right? Low to a high, to a higher low, to a higher high, to a higher low, to a higher high, to a higher low. Anticipation is continuation. So if we don't catch the higher low, what we look to do is get long on the SR flip, right? Perfect example is right here. Here's the higher low right into demand. If you miss that, where are you looking for a trade? On the SR flip. Well, that's what happens right here. Here's your higher low. If you don't long that, where do you look to get long? Right on the SR flip. So if you miss this, you could get long here based on continuation of the trend. So we're looking for effectively the exact same thing. If you didn't long that low, you want to look for a flip of the SR and look to potentially get in long on a pullback if it gives it to you. It might not give it to you. Where can you find a link to my Discord? It is in my bio on Twitter. So click on the Yat in the bio on my Twitter, and that is where you'll find the link to my Discord. This has been a lot of alpha that I'm sharing here, but hopefully the plan is clear. So the only reason I would look to short this thing now is some sort of run on these highs. If we get some sort of run on these highs and then a break back down, that would be the only short scenario I'm looking for. If that happens, I would be looking for price to come into here. Okay? So if we see some sort of SFP of this high or a break up and then back down, stop goes there, your entry is on the breakdown, and your target is here running this low. That would be the only reason I would short here. Otherwise, I'm looking for one of these two levels to get flipped, bullish price action on the low time frame to get long towards 55,000. So hopefully that is pretty clear. I'm going to take a quick look at the chat, make sure everyone is copacetic and everyone understands what the fuck's going on, and we can go from there. But yeah, let me know in the chat, guys, if all that fucking talking for the last 40 fucking minutes has made any sense and added any value to your life at all in any way. All right, gonna take a quick scroll through the chat. All right, Woodley or Jake Paul? I really want Tyron Woodley to win. I think Jake Paul needs to get humbled. I mean, if you look at the last guy he fought, Ben Askren, he was built like a bag of milk. So I'm hoping Woodley, who, even though he's retired, he's a striker, 5-time champ, he's a stud, still in great shape. I hope he just knocks the fucking stupid Disney Channel tattoos off that guy's head. But we'll see. I've got no money riding on it. Mayne is a Nike athlete. I wish. All right, chill out on the chat, guys. All of the, you guys, I'm losing all the old chats. I heard BitBoy made 700x gains in weight and net worth this bull run. BitBoy is, I went hard on BitBoy last stream. I feel a little bit bad. I made diabetes jokes. I made a lot of obesity jokes, and that's not cool. But I do think he belongs in jail, and I do believe he belongs on the Jenny Craig program because he is both fat and a scammer. Jim got stopped. He's long. Flip long around 50K. Bullish trigger. Yes. Fibs. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. This guy said morning. See you next Tuesday. That's a bad word. What is OTE? OTE stands for optimal trade entry. It's just the 6.2 to 7.9 fib, the 61.8 to the 78.6. What leverage are you using? Leverage is irrelevant. This is one of the most common questions I get, guys. Leverage. What leverage is on that trade? Leverage is irrelevant. Leverage is not used to open bigger positions. Leverage has two main purposes: to reduce counterparty risk and to allow you to better allocate your capital, because when you use leverage, you do not need to put up as much margin to open a position. It doesn't mean you should be opening positions bigger than are suitable for your account. That's what most people use leverage for. Those people are stupid. Those people are the ones getting liquidation emails all the time because they're using 100x to lever up their $1,000 account so they can open up a 100K position, and then price moves 1% against them and they get licked. Leverage is not meant for that, right? Leverage is often, most of the really, really good traders that I know and the guys who trade big size trade with just spot or like maybe 2 or 3x leverage, right? There are guys who use higher leverage, obviously, but for the most part, low leverage. And it is irrelevant. Leverage just determines how much margin is required to open the position. So it is irrelevant if I say I use 10x. That means literally nothing. What do I think of Donda? I think Donda fucking sucks. I don't think Kanye has had a good album since like 808. 808 and like, you know, Graduation and Late Registration. That's the Kanye I liked. Basically everything since then I think sucks, and I think there's just a bunch of blind witnesses of Kanye who's like, everything he puts out is art and it's amazing. I think it sucks. I listened to the entire thing. I think most of the songs were trash. There was a couple that I was like, these are okay, but out of 27 songs to only think like 2 or 3 are good, I think is a failure. Love Kanye. Love the old Kanye. I miss the old Kanye. Okay, Mayne, can you look at ICP? Yes, we can look at ICP, but Philly, I told you to save the alt requests till the end of the video, bro, and you disobeyed me. Don't do that, bro. Most value anyone's ever added to me, good sir. You need to expand your horizons. If some fucking pale Canadian dude is adding more value to your life than anything else, I think you need to try more things, my friend, but thank you. It's very clear when you explain this manner. Awesome. Are you participating in the AVAX ecosystem? This is another thing that I'm way behind on. I have not done any sort of bridging yet. It is something I will try and get into this week. My goal is to kind of start playing around that ecosystem more, but I have not at this point. Just started looking at CME gaps. Are they worth paying attention to? I mean, sure. If you want to look at CME gaps and see if they all get filled and you can find some sort of edge there, absolutely. Go ahead and look at them. Not something I really look at, though. Please help me understand log scale charts versus linear. Also with fibs, which ones to use. I never use the log chart. I use the regular linear chart. I find that the log chart just flattens things out and makes it look like way less bad than it might be, right? But yeah, log. I don't use the log chart. I always use the linear. I'm not smart enough to explain the difference to you. I'm sorry. Why do you see 79 as optimal? That's just, I don't even know how to answer that question, bro. Something I learned from various mentors over the years. The market moves mathematically. It moves in measured moves. If you studied Elliott Wave, they use the 78.6 fib, the 0.382, the 61.8. It just the fib is a measuring tool. What the fuck is this weird ass motherfucking fib that keeps showing up? I don't want this shit. I hate it, and I want it to die. Burn it with fire. You'll see if you go fuck around with it, man, right? If you pull fibs on price swings, you will often find retracements to this area. Why it happens like that, I don't know. Maybe it's the golden ratio that is, that is everywhere in our DNA and in the world. Maybe it's just because the market moves mathematically and makes measured moves. Maybe it's voodoo. I don't fucking know. But go practice. Pull fibs from lows to highs on up moves, and you'll find retracements often hit this little golden pocket, and the exact same thing on a down move. From a high to a low, you'll find retracements often hit that golden pocket. It's not enough to make your decisions based on, but it is a tool that you can use for added confluence of what might happen, where would price potentially retrace to, but you'll have to ask someone way smarter than me for why it actually works or any of that kind of shit. I was told that by my mentors. I started practicing and using it, and I found it worked a lot. So you're saying that if we don't flip now before the daily close above, so you're saying that if we don't flip now before daily close above 49,300, we go down. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying if we get above here early in the week, I'm looking to get long. I've heard about the email notifications. Bro, listen, I've liquidated tons of accounts when I was learning. You should never liquidate. If you actually know what you're doing and you're not just trying to like degen run up an account, you should never liquidate an account. Life of Pablo was good, brother. What are you talking about? Life of Pablo was okay. Hey bro, how do you gauge higher lows from wicks or the closes? I use the wicks as the low, like the swing low is that wick, right? But a candle close through would be a break in market structure. If it just wicks through and close above, I don't consider it a break in market structure. Have you ever traded Pula? Never. I don't even know what that is. Did you or do you have a mentor? I've had several trading mentors. For those of us just starting out, potentially a bit nervous about going all in on an untested strategy, what would you suggest the best formula for the biggest neck gains? Drink a lot of milk, eat a lot of peanut butter, and do neck pulls. No, back test, right? Back test, forward test, paper trade, open an account with a little bit of money, right? Gather some data. You need data, you need stats to understand if your edge is actually profitable. So get a journal, whether it's EdgeWonk, an Excel spreadsheet, whatever you need to do. Start tracking your trades using your strategy and see if you actually have an edge and if you can consistently make money before you start putting big money behind it. The one problem with just back testing and paper trading is once you use real money, it changes the game, right? It's very easy to be like, oh, I just long here and close here and boom, boom, I made 5x. Once you have real money behind your trades, it changes things a little psychologically, but absolutely back test, forward test, paper trade, open a small account, gather that data so you actually know that what you're doing is working. And what is key is you have to have uniformity across your decision making process. If you're changing your strategy, changing what you're doing throughout, that data is worthless. The whole idea of a system is that it's systematic, right? You need to be looking for the same thing every single time. Otherwise, the data is unreliable. Did you buy Moon River today? I don't even know what that is. When is the boxing fight between you and Rookie? I'm not fighting Rookie. I will be in Dubai. I believe Rookie is fighting Loomdart. I am bigger than Rookie and Loomdart combined, I'm pretty sure. Can people short without leverage? 1x or is shorting not recommended for beginner traders? I mean, you can short without leverage. You can short by selling spot to cash. That would be effectively going short, right? If you trade your Bitcoin for Tether, you're effectively short Bitcoin without leverage, right? There's nothing wrong with looking for shorts if you're learning, right? But trade with the trend. If the trend is up, look for longs. If the trend is down, look for shorts, right? Do you often make setups immediately after the weekly close? Generally not. I hate trading on the weekend. I like to enjoy my weekends, but Bitcoin is a 24/7 market, which is super fucking annoying. Well, it's awesome. Depends on how you look at it. But I generally like to see the first few days of the week play out. That's how I learned in Forex that, the higher low of the week would generally form early in the week. But yeah, if the setup is there, it's there. I'm on screen all the time. I have tons of alerts set. They go to my phone, and if one goes off, I go to my phone, I check it, and then I decide if I have to, make a decision. I didn't know ghosts are real. Ghosts are not real. I'm definitely not scared of them. Tokenmon, I don't know what that is. Trader Mayne, is there any chance you could elaborate on how you would package an entry? At which exchange is best for trading? Does it matter? The best exchange in the world is the sponsor of these streams, Bybit. Use the link in the description to join, obviously. Bybit is a great exchange. I trade on Bybit with size and experience very little slippage and get great fills on limit orders as well. And it depends on what you're doing, right? If you're entering on the low time frame, maybe you need to mark it in. Maybe you do set a limit order. Maybe you want to layer. Maybe if you're trading really big size, you need to iceberg your way in and out of trades. It can get very complex. Trading big size is actually harder than you think. If you're opening a 50K position on Bitcoin, you're going to have no problem. If you're opening a $5 million position on Bitcoin, it takes a little bit more work, and it's something that you need to figure out how to work your way into the book and fill an order without, just slamming it with 5 mil. What's your take on this weekly close, both above and below 49K? I don't know yet, right? I would like to see the weekly close green. So above 49,267 on Bitfinex. But I guess Casper is alive and he lives in you. I'm not that fucking pale. Fuck you, man. This is embarrassing. I used to be able to get a tan. I don't know what happened. I blame you guys. Editor is gonna have a lot of great clips this week. We'll see. Yo, Mayne, what's up, homie? Alpha. Yes, it is, Mayne. It moves mathematically. There you go. Discord link is in my yacht, bro. It's in the yacht, so press the yacht that's in my bio. It's in there, I promise. Are you sponsored by Nike? Not yet. If you're listening, hook a brother up. Could be me and LeBron, both sponsored by Nike. It sounds got a nice ring to it. Everything is crystal clear. Thank you very much. People give me more likes. Do give me more likes, guys. I need the dopamine or I'll literally die. What time is the fight? I have no idea. I assume probably around like 9 o'clock. So is your preference to trade ETH though, or BTC, or both this upcoming week, or just alts in general, since we are not getting into specific alts yet, all depending on BTC bullishness, I'm assuming. Alts generally are going to give you higher beta plays, right? So, if Bitcoin remains bullish, or at least is going sideways, alts have been the move lately, and I'll probably continue to focus on altcoins. Oh God. All right. Who's your Naruto waifu? Obviously Hinata. That's what a stupid question. Anyone who says Sakura should literally jump out of a window. Not literally, figuratively jump out of a window. Bruh, how to run up a small account? The same way you run up a big account. By making more than you lose, right? Just because your account, people think they're like, okay, well, if I had a big account, it would be easier. If you can't turn $100 into 1,000, what makes you think you can turn 100,000 into 1,000,000? It's the same. It's the same, right? So, and I would actually venture to say that the larger run up, 100K to 1,000,000, is harder because you got to open bigger positions. It's more difficult psychologically because you're risking substantially more money. If you're just trading $100 and your risk is $20, right? But generally, when you see people do those degen accounts where they're like, I'm going to take 1,000 and turn it into 10, they're not risking 2% a trade. They're risking 10, 20%. Very high risk of ruin. But if it works, looks awesome. Okay. Do like BitBoy and everything will be all right. Fuck BitBoy. Okay. The chat is just getting a little hectic here. So I'm just going to start talking about... I'm going to start talking about Ethereum. Would you rather fight one horse-sized duck or 50 duck-sized horses? 50 duck-sized horses? I think I would do the 50 duck-sized horses, right? Because like a horse is fucking huge, and ducks are scary. Birds are just scary in general. Birds aren't even real. They're all government spy drones. But a horse-sized duck sounds terrifying, and I don't know how I would fuck it up, but I know I could boot the shit out of a duck for sure. So I would probably take that. I don't know if I would win, but that's the battle I'd take. Do I get weapons? Is this just like, just my hands and feet? Like, but I definitely think I could boot the shit out of a bunch of duck-sized horses. You're so sexy. Thank you. My mom is actually here right now, so I'm sure she appreciates hearing that. Random dudes on the internet think I'm attractive. Okay. Birds or dinosaurs? I agree. I think that's true. Okay, let's get into Ethereum here. It's been an hour and I feel like I've talked about jack fucking shit. So Bitcoin plan clear, right, guys? If we see a sweep of one of these highs and then a break back in, we'll look to short down into about 44K. Okay, so the short trigger, anything like this, we would target this low into here. Okay. For long scenarios, if we ran this low and reclaim, it's a long, or I don't really think we want to lose this low, to be honest with you. Or if we reclaim these levels and put in some bullishness, I'm bullish towards 55K. All right. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Into Ethereum. So Ethereum here, we are trading very similarly as we are on Bitcoin into some resistance. I do think the draw on Ethereum is still 37,000, or 37,000 would be fucking sick. 3,700. I think this is the draw on Ethereum for this uptrend. The one thing we got to kind of be aware of is we are kind of consolidating here, right into a resistance level. I believe consolidation under resistance in an uptrend is bullish. So I effectively think that Ethereum is kind of like a pressure cooker here. And if we're able to break above here, effectively 3350, 33400, I think we will put in a big old green dildo candle to 37. So that is my price prediction for Ethereum. If we're able to kind of get above here and make a higher high, I think we trade quite quickly into 3,700. And this is effectively 55K on Bitcoin. And the exact same logic that I went into detail on Bitcoin is going to be true for Ethereum here. If we see a move up into this area, this is where I want to be cautious, because this is where a larger correction could occur. Doesn't mean we're going to zero, but it does mean we could see, a large pullback and then a higher low, back into this high maybe, and then continuation, right? So that is kind of the area where you want to be careful on Ethereum. If you pull your fib, I swear to fucking God, if this fib is fucked, what the fuck? Who's fucking with my shit? Who even has access to my shit? How do I make this default? How do I make that one the default? Right into that 37 area, right? Takes us right into that sweet spot here, right? Boom. So this is the draw on Ethereum, I believe. We are coming up and we're tagging the 6.2 right now, but I think assuming we have continued bullishness, this is going to be the area where I'm looking to be very cautious on Ethereum, because this would be the optimal place for a lower high if we're going to see a continuation of the high time frame trend, which is right now bearish, right? So as much as, unless you consider this just a higher low here, I mean, God, hindsight is 2020. Don't you just wish you were just like, okay, higher low, just long the fuck out of Ethereum at 1600 here and just hold on forever? God damn it. But it is what it is. This is, right, from here to here, the optimal area for a lower high would be right there. And I don't even need the fib to know that I drew it perfectly. Right into that kind of OTE 3700 area. So that's where I think Ethereum goes. And I think that's the area where we look for a potential larger retrace, is that 3700 area, which also lines up with that order block right there. We are into resistance here, so there is a chance that we could pull back before we get there. This is a valid resistance level. You can see we're having some rejections here, but for now the trend remains up, right? This is a low, a high, a higher low. So the next step would be a close through the high here at about 3350. And if that happens, I think we'll get a quick move to 3700. So Ethereum on the long side, 3350, which is right about here, would be the level where I would want to flip long once we get through. So that's kind of what I'd be looking for. Once we start trading up there, zoom in, look for bullishness on the low time frame. And if we get it, get in a long, targeting 3700. Ultimately, the kind of smaller trend here is down, but I kind of, I don't know, I kind of think like this looks like it wants to push, right? We came in, like, if this is our little mini trend, right? We came in here, we got a pullback to effectively like the 50. Bro, what is this fucking stupid goddamn fib? Pardon my French. I'm not even sorry. Fuck this fib. Into the 50 here. So similar to Bitcoin, there is potential that, this might pull back. We've got an SFP here, kind of showing a little bit of a rejection here. But as long as we maintain this low, I do think we will make a high, and above this area right here, which is that 3350 area that I was talking about. If we get bullish up here, that's a long into 37, which is off the screen. But that's kind of the range I'm watching. If we get some sort of fake out here, like if this just rejects and breaks down, then we probably go down here, which would be effectively Bitcoin going to 44K. But above here, I think is when you start getting looking for bull triggers to get long into 37. So hopefully hopefully that makes sense on Ethereum too. I think 3,700 is the draw right now. Gun to my head, I think 3,700. But don't put a gun to my head, please. I don't want to die. That would be kind of my expectation if we're able to break up. If we get any sort of fake out or anything like that here, like a run of this high and a move back below, then sure, I think you short it similar to Bitcoin. Target this low and then ultimately target like here. But I'm not going to short this as is right now, this close to a new week. I'm going to wait. And the really interesting thing for Ethereum is what's going on with NFTs, right? Like NFTs have been going absolutely bonkers. We had the Mutant Ape Yacht Club drop thing. We've got penguins going up in price, punks going crazy, Fidenzas going crazy. Shit is just going ham. And I don't know how a large correction on Ethereum would affect the NFT market, if at all, right? Is it going to be bearish, right? If the NFT market, if Ethereum dumps 10, 15%, is that bearish for NFTs? Or do the Ethereum value of the NFTs change the same and the USD value just drops and the demand is separate? Or if Ethereum dumps, are people going to want to fucking panic and sell their NFTs to get it into Ethereum so they can, sell that Ethereum to USD? I don't really know. My guess and my opinion, I guess, and this is someone who's I'm not keyboard monkey or, super deep into the NFT game like many of the guys on Twitter are. I think that the demand in NFTs is quite separate from crypto, not crypto, but from the price of Ethereum per se. Obviously, there's going to be some overlap because you need Ethereum to buy NFTs. However, I think just from my brief foray into NFTs, there's a huge part of Twitter that I didn't even know existed where it's just like all NFT people. Like they don't give a shit about the price of crypto. They're just buying NFTs to flip them into more Ethereum, to buy more NFTs to flip them. And they have their own communities. They have very, large Discords where that's all they're focused on. And there's also, I think, a way stronger, there's the HODL community, the HODL community in Bitcoin and Ethereum and shit. That exists in NFTs too. Like there are people who I'm pretty sure are never going to sell their punks or their apes, or at least not for years. Like their willingness to hold these things, I think is really, really, really strong. And I don't think we're going to see the same level of panic that you see when price drops, in NFTs. Maybe you will, and maybe people will panic sell their NFTs, but I think people who are buying these high-end NFTs for the most part are willing to hold them for a long time or for multiples more in price before they even consider selling them. So I do think that there is its own demand and community and just kind of different rules, for lack of a better term, when it comes to NFTs and then the volatility that we see in Ethereum. Even if Ethereum drops or if it goes much higher, I think people are going to still, want to hold, I see people selling these high-end punks, Bored Ape Yacht Clubs and shit like that just because ETH drops. I mean, who knows? I mean, are they... If Ethereum drops back to 2,000, are NFTs going to nuke? I have no idea. I do think it'll be something very interesting to watch. And I do think if some of these NFTs nuke, maybe there's some good buying opportunities, no different than altcoins. The one thing I am seeing right now that I think is worth mentioning is the hype around NFTs is huge. Very similar to the hype we saw around Bitcoin and Ethereum back in April, May, June. Where celebrities are getting involved. We've got celebrities. Steph Curry's profile picture is now an ape. We've got Steve Aoki with a punk. Like we've got celebrities talking about NFTs a lot. A lot of people spending insane money on NFTs. So that part of the hype cycle, we are there. It doesn't mean it's over, but it might mean that, we're closer to the end than the beginning. And just the kind of the knockoffs, right? Just like when you have the early cycle ICOs or IDOs, right? Where it's like, okay, it's really good stuff that's coming out. And then later in the cycle, it's a bunch of dog shit. Similar thing to the NFTs, right? You had the Bored Ape Yacht Club, all these really good launches and shit. And now as we're getting later, every time I make a post, people are shilling some new NFT project under my comments that they've probably whipped up in 10 minutes and are just trying to get a quick buck. So I don't know if that's a sign for where we are in that hype cycle, but just something I've observed. Yeah. Let's fucking see here. So Ethereum, hopefully I gave you guys a pretty quick, clear plan, right? 3350 is kind of my line in the sand here, which is effectively like right there. Get above there, I think we teleport to 3700. Any sort of fake out to the upside and a break back down, I think maybe we come and retest, you know, this area here, right around 3K, right? So there's your upside objective. If we get some sort of fake out, that would be my downside objective. So I'm leaning towards longs, but will do what price action kind of tells me. We've got the weekly close here in 15 minutes, so we'll watch that together. But yeah, we're kind of rejecting here a little bit. I really want to see us push through 50K and then launch to the fucking moon. That would be ideal up into here. That would be ideal. Okay, so that's Ethereum done. That's Bitcoin done. Some alpha as well in there. A little bit of talk about NFTs. So I'm gonna check the chat really quick, guys, and then I will come back to the charts here. So let's just see where we're at here. It's not French. Je parle français. I can swear in French too. Tabarnak, merde. Bitboy changed your fib. That son of a bitch. He probably got greasy fingers from eating fucking KFC. Fucked up my mouse as well. Mayne yelling at the fib tool is funnier than yelling at Bitboy. What do French people pardon when they swear? I don't know. Probably themselves. Fuck French people too. I'm just eliminating huge swaths of the population from my fan base right now. Using market cipher with that secret strategy right now, 100x strategy right now. Okay, I don't know what market cipher is. Buy Yeetcoin. No thank you. I heard only Pans plays. What's your favorite rapper? Probably Big L or BIG. Remember when Bagsy used to post charts? Yes, I do. Does he not anymore? I don't know. It's all poker players, okay? Here's a guy literally shilling his NFT in the chat. NFTs are the pet rocks of the 21st century. I don't think pet rocks were ever trading for millions of dollars, but who knows? Why is no one talking about the truth about NFTs? That people are just buying them to... Tuma, you spelt that wrong. That's not me being dyslexic. That's just you that's you being dyslexic, bro. Tuma old taxes, not peeps who are paying 2 to 3F, but like 200. I assume you're saying that people are money laundering. I think that's what you're trying to say. I don't fucking know. I'm sure there's some money laundering going on. There's money laundering going on literally in pretty much every fucking business and everything to do with crypto. So I don't think that's like a crazy revolution. Samarth, I notice you in all of my videos. You just copy and paste the same fucking question over and over and over again, bro. I'm going to start like systematically beating the shit up of you, beating you up verbally if you continue to just spam the same fucking questions. You were doing that last time with like trying to get me to look at a chart. It really is frustrating because people are like, will ask one question and I'll try and find it. And it's just you asking the same fucking question 50 times in a row. That wasn't even a question. That's just a statement. Hi Mayne, what do you think about incorporating Elliott Wave into price action? I've never really used Elliott Wave, so yeah, I don't know. This guy says you sound like a scammer. What am I scamming you for? This is free. Go fuck yourself. Man, stop hitting the mic. Okay, stop telling me what to do, bro. It's my show. Literally everyone says that what's going on with them, that and money laundering. I'm sure that's part of it for sure. What do you think about heat maps like trading light? Not something I personally use. Let's see here. Dudes who create websites like OpenSea, everyone should eat. Okay. Do you hold any small market cap gems? The only like small market cap coin that I hold is Nerve. I think they rebranded to Synapse. It's like a cross asset bridge that does like cross asset swaps. I know the homies who are behind it, so I invested early on. I am up on my investment, to be completely transparent, so I'm not trying to shill it to you because, you know, I'm underwater or some bullshit like that, but I own a lot of Nerve. Omelette du fromage, mais bien sûr, mon ami, une omelette du fromage pour petit déjeuner. Yo, what's up, Manny Taco Cat? Only pans changed my life. Okay. Mayne is old, guys. I am old. What do you think of high stakes cap? I mean, obviously the guy's a legend, making tens of millions of dollars per trade. I don't really know what else to say. He doesn't really use charts. He doesn't really use TA. He trades off a feel. Has run up a ton of money into, you know, a 9-figure fortune. So obviously a legend. Hopefully I'll meet him when I go to Dubai. Okay. If we reject around 55K and 3,700 on ETH, where do you expect price to go? That's a great question. So let's assume hypothetically that we do this, right? So where would a potential high time frame retracement go to? Oh my fucking God. This fib is going to be the end of my life. I'm literally going to jump out of a window. I would think that into this area here would be a potential higher low. I don't know if it comes all the way back down here. It absolutely could. But I think back into this range high, because you remember we were in this range for months. So what you would not want to see if you're a bull is us get back into this range for a significant period of time, because then that becomes a huge deviation and that looks bad. So I would think back into here, which kind of lines up with like the 50 fib, you know, maybe 27 to 300 to 3,000, 2,700 to 3,000 on Ethereum would be kind of what I'd be looking for a higher low. And then on Bitcoin, very similar, right? We were in this trading range here for a long ass time. So I wouldn't really want price to go back inside that range for a significant period of time. So maybe back to 40K, something like that, for a higher low if we were to reject from up here. And you can do the same thing, right? You can pull the fib from here to... Just breathe, bro. Just breathe. Into here, right around the 50 to the 6.2 seems like a potential area for a retracement back into that old range high. I really wouldn't want us to start trading below these highs again for any significant period of time, because then that looks like this was just a big old fucking deviation. If we're back in this range, I think we probably trade lower. So I would say around there, 38 to 40 maybe on Bitcoin, 27 to 3K on Ethereum. Do you know about love? Yes, I do. Absolutely. Do you think Arbitrum is going to make Link explode? I don't know anything about it, so I'm not the right person to ask. I have nothing against the Link Marines. Please do not attack me, but I don't know what Arbitrum is going to do for Link. I have no fucking clue. Ever drank Bailey's out of a shoe? Absolutely not. I've drank beer out of a shoe. We call it a shoey, and it's gross. How is your neck, by the way? Neck is doing good. Market Cipher is a paid services indicator that BitBoy shills. Well, it's probably shit then. Mayne got COVID. Why would you think I got COVID? I'm way too strong for COVID. I've been in close contact with people with COVID 3 times, tested negative every single time. I'm just too big, man. My neck is way too thick. The COVID can't even get in there. How do you separate your long bags from your trading bags? My long bags I look at on the high time frame only. I'm looking at the weekly chart, the daily chart, and really nothing lower than that. And my time horizon is much longer. Trading, I am in and out of the market sometimes within a day. So it's just different. It's all about time frame, but the plan is the same, right? Or the approach is the same. Why are you trying to teach us for free? Just a question. Because I like to help people. I enjoy making these videos. Genuinely, I like making these YouTube videos. And I was once where you guys were, right? I was in crypto Twitter in 2014, 2015, and I was just buying shit because people told me to on Twitter. I had no idea what I was doing. I had no idea how to manage risk, any of that shit. And it took me a long time to find people who were genuine with the information that they were sharing. A lot of people share bullshit. A lot of people are scammers. A lot of people will show you some things, but not all the things. And it took me a long time to figure out what the hell I was doing. So for me, I've made a career out of this community, out of Twitter, out of obviously trading. So it's kind of like paying it forward. You have to realize trading is one of those jobs that you don't actually add any sort of value to the world, right? Like if you're a nurse, like you're adding a very perceivable value to society, right? You're helping people, you're helping people get healthy, you're taking care of sick people, right? Shit like that. If you're a construction worker, you're building physical shit. When you're trading, it's just you against the market, and you're just extracting money from the market, from other people. You're not really adding anything to society. So it is something that I feel like is a way for me to give back. The way I learned to trade was by generous people who were sharing their information on the internet. And I do believe everything you need to learn can be learned for free. It doesn't mean all paid services are a scam. Some of them are for sure, but some of the best stuff I've learned are from paid services. If you find the right mentors and shit, they can save you a lot of time because they will condense information that you might have to look 10 places for all into one. But yeah, paying it forward a little bit. This is how I learned. I enjoy doing it. And I'm lucky enough that, with you guys watching and stuff like that, I'm able to get sponsorships and, working with Bybit. So I don't have to charge you guys anything for this. I can do it completely for free. I'm very fortunate that you guys watching and helping me grow my brand allows me to get paid without charging you anything. What video of BitBoy do you see him to actually scam? Go look up, go to Crypto Cobain's page on Twitter and just type in the word BitBoy. He has a bunch of breakdowns of threads where he shilled coins that he obviously got in advance and was getting paid for, and he didn't talk about how he was getting paid to make these ads, and then they dump, and he's deleted videos. Like, the guy is a fucking scammer and a piece of shit. Just go look. Yeah, but check out Cobain and look up BitBoy and you'll see. Do you have a dog? I do not. Do you like sushi? To eat? Absolutely. If the editor is reading the comments, we'd appreciate a compilation of your fib reactions. I'm sure he'll pick up on it. He's pretty good at that stuff. Any books you recommend? I get asked this all the time. I've never read a trading book before. I really enjoy self-help books and things like that. I like Marcus Gladwell. I like biographies and autobiographies. But I don't read any trading books. Like Trading in the Zone, I heard is a good one, but I've never read it. Why don't you big CT guys create a fund and trade? Why? None of us are financial advisors, so that would be illegal. Whose money would we take? We're not qualified to do that, and I can trade my own money. I don't need anyone else's money. If you're ever dealing with someone who's like, I'm a really good trader, bro, give me some of your money, give me 10K, I'll trade it up to 100K and we'll split the profits 50-50. That person's scamming you. Just think about it logically, right? Why, if you know what you're doing, if you know how to make money trading, why would I need anyone else's money to trade? right? And people will go, oh, well, then you can trade bigger size, right? It's like, well, if you're good, trade up your own account so it's big. And then you don't have the risk of managing someone else's money. I think that's such an easy thing that people fall for. They're like, hey, dude, I've got this system that works. Just give me some money and I'll trade it into more. That's why I get friends who ask me all the time for like to trade their money. I go, why? What's the benefit for me? I don't need your $10,000, right? I don't need it. It doesn't add any benefit for me. It's just more money that I don't need. And now I have to give you some of the profits. Why don't I just trade my own money, keep 100% of the profits, right? And there's a psychological aspect to that as well. When it's someone else's money, it changes the game. Why pay millions for a JPEG when you can copy and paste it to OpenSea for your own? Well, you know that's not how it works. Do I have any animals? No, I do not. Okay. Mayne, do you not love me? The real whale bear man. I love you, bro. I promise. I'm not just saying that. Your son is a good guy. I don't have a son that I know of. Not yet, ladies. Wait, hold on. I have a thing for this. Oh, that's not the one I wanted, but Mayne the goat. Thank you. Okay. Shit is getting kind of hectic in the chat. Okay, guys, so this stream is already an hour and a half almost. I feel like it's been pretty good. I gave you guys clear plans for Ethereum, clear plans for Bitcoin, gave you some alpha at the start around top-down analysis, order flow. We've talked a little bit about NFTs. The weekly candle just closed. It closed red. Not very red, but nonetheless, it did close red. So something to watch. That short idea, remember, from here is the one we would be watching into at least here. So technically this trade could be live. You could take it right now. I don't know if you want to. That's up to you. But waiting to see. I really want to see Bitcoin get above here. And I want to see Ethereum get above around here. All right, so does anyone have any questions about what I've talked about on Bitcoin or on Ethereum? If not, I will. This is the first red weekly candle we've had, I think, in the last like month plus. So the entire month of, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straight green weekly candles, and that's our first red weekly in a long time. So does it mean anything? I don't know. But we'll find out pretty soon. I'll be watching. I am leaning towards a move to 55K if we can start trading above, you know, kind of this area here. Same as Ethereum. If we can start trading above 3350, I'm expecting 3700. So I hope that that is very clear for everyone. I hope you all enjoyed that breakdown. I will now take 2 altcoin requests. I'm going to cover ICP because it's a trade that I'm in. And then I will take 2 altcoin requests from the chat. And then I'm going to start drinking beer and wine with my mom, because she's been decorating my condo all weekend. I moved into a new place, as you guys remember, like a few months ago. Actually, it's been like 5 months now. And, you know, being a 31-year-old adult man, I bought a desk, which you guys all made fun of. I bought a couch. And I bought a mattress and I put it on the floor, and then I basically stopped buying stuff. So she's here helping me do grown-up things. I've got a candle now. I've got a garbage can in my bathroom. It's really pretty sick. So let's do, I'm going to cover ICP, and then I'm going to go into the chat, and I will pick 2 coins and I will review them, okay? Condo tour in your dreams, bro. You just want to know where I live. All you gotta do is DM me if you want that information. Yeah, I've learned my lesson about sharing too much personal information on the internet, guys. I once posted a picture of my view in a place that I used to live in a handful of years ago, and someone like told me what they DM'd me, like a picture of my building. I was very freaked out by it. Yes, my mom is the one who noticed I was using fabric softener, not detergent. cum rocket token. Come on, bro. Okay. Let's do ICP first. So this chart looks like pretty fucking insane to me, because it looks like a lot of altcoins that have already popped and this one hasn't yet. So like if I can compare this to, oh, what's one I can compare this to? Let's see what XRP looks like. So you see how like, maybe this isn't the best comparison, but you see how like all these altcoins kind of did that W bottom, right? They had resistance, then they did the W bottom here, and they all launched. So many coins look like this. Like another one would be, I think, Cardano. I mean, Cardano went ham. Cardano's not a good example. What is a good example here? Son of a bitch. Let's see if AVAX is a good example. There you go. This is a great example, right? So this was the clear resistance, and there's kind of your double tap of the lows. There's your range and then expansion, right? And Bitcoin did this, Ethereum did this. We all were in a range for months. Double bottom, triple bottom, broke. This would be like 42K on Bitcoin. Then we got expansion. So ICP looks like it just is kind of getting to that point, right? There's that equivalent level. We have our double bottom here. We have a break in market structure. Now we're consolidating. This looks like it has serious potential to move up to like, you know, even maybe as high as 150. So I'm really bullish on this ICP chart. Obviously, if Bitcoin completely shits the bed, this thing will probably pull back. But it's been outperforming the market today, and it's been outperforming Bitcoin for a little while. And to me, just from like a structural price action perspective, this looks like this. It looks like we're, you know, trading right here, right now on ICP. So I'm very bullish on this chart. Okay. I think AVAX is a coin that we looked at last week, and I talked about buying a retest of the highs. I think on the daily here, I said if we come back here, right? If we come back into here, it's a buy, right? And you got that this week. We came back, boom, nice move, but needs to kind of hold here, right? You don't want this to be topping quite yet. We do have a ton of stuff going on, obviously, in the AVAX ecosystem that is live now. So I don't really know a ton of details about that, but it did hold that kind of key SR test. That was the SR test that we talked about last week. So if you go to watch last week's video, I said a retest of these highs is a buy, and you got that. You got a big reaction. So what do you want to see on AVAX now? You want this to be a higher low, and you want us to make a higher high. What else can we look at here? I hope your editor makes an edit where you start counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 candles into 21 Savage bank account. Will be the music and everything. That's funny. That would be gold. Shay, if you're listening, that's what you need to pick up on. Make a 21 Savage clip with me talking about candles. When you enter a leverage trade, where do you put your stop loss? Stefan Walters, realtor. Bro, stick to trading, stick to selling houses. What kind of question is that, bro? Your stop loss, right, is where your trade idea is wrong, right? So prefacing it as when you enter a leverage trade, that's irrelevant. Just based on your question, I'm not trying to shit on you, even though I'm literally shitting on you. It sounds like you're very beginner, right? So when you are making a trade idea, right, first of all, you need to know what you're looking for. So let's use this example here. My stop goes here. Why? Not just because it's a swing high. Your stop goes where your idea is wrong. So if you're banking on price making a higher high or to continue to trade up here, and you say, okay, I'm entering here because it's an SR flip. Where is the idea wrong? Well, it's probably wrong down here. Because if this SR flip is true, if price comes down here and makes a lower low, your idea is wrong. right? So your stop loss does not go where you lose a predetermined amount of money. Some people will be like, okay, well, if my stop goes here, I only lose $500 if I'm wrong. That's not where your stop goes. Your stop goes where your trade idea is wrong, and then you adjust your position size so that if you get stopped, you only lose that 500 or whatever that predetermined amount of risk you have is. Okay, so your stop goes where your trade idea is wrong. You need to understand the basics of PA, price action, and trading to know why are you entering the trade where you are, where are you targeting, and where is that idea wrong. You need to know all three of those things before you enter a trade, and then you can go ahead and enter, a position, and okay, I'm wrong if price gets above this level. I'm right if it goes to here. I'm entering here because of this. That is your system. You need to say, okay, my system says if this happens, I enter here, and my stop goes above that swing, and I target here. That's your system. You need to know what that is and why. You should be able to answer all of those questions. You don't just say, I'm long because everyone's long. Why? Why are you entering where you are, right? So you need to know all those things before you enter the trade, and the stop goes where the idea is wrong, not where you lose a certain amount of money. It goes where your idea is wrong, okay? Okay, we'll take a quick look at SUSHI. SUSHI. I quite like this. I like this here, right? Assuming it holds this, we kind of got like a little bit of a double bottom action happening here. Fuck you, you piece of shit. Got a little bit of a double bottom and a little SFP happening here. So I don't actually hate this. Nice little SFP here. So what I would want to see on SUSHI effectively is this kind of hold. Like if this is going to go up, it should not go below this low because we ran this low here. We're into that H4 demand, SFP at the level. So I want to see it hold this order block here, right? And then obviously trade up. And then my target would probably be all of these highs here, right? See this descending trend line? This is where you target up here. So I think as long as it holds here, it looks pretty good, SUSHI there. Maybe I should draw that like this just so we have for the next video. So we can see it from here above here. That would be kind of ideal for SUSHI right there. Interesting little pat on the back for myself. If you go watch the Solana obviously going crazy. If you go watch, I mean, this chart is insane. Never bet against Sam Bankman-Fried. Jesus fucking Christ. What a hero. The greatest tweet of all time, I think, on all of crypto Twitter. But if you go watch my altcoin video, my first altcoin video, I covered Solana. And right here, we were talking about a target of here. So I was bullish on Solana. Once we broke through the mid-range, I said 46 is the target and then all-time high. So if you go watch that video, it's a few weeks old now. Maybe you caught some of that long. I definitely bought Solana after doing that video, but I sold a bunch of it once we broke the all-time high. I did not think it was going to go this goddamn fucking hard, but there it is. Is the Dubai trip actually something planned? If not, will you be vlogging or some shit? It's a real trip. I'm going. My flight is booked. I'm booked accommodation. I don't know if I'm going to vlog it. I'm not a vlogger. But I'll definitely take some videos and post it. Any other recommendations for charts other than TradingView? Nothing I use. I know some people use Sierra charts. I know some people use EXO shit. I only use TradingView, and I don't even use any indicators or volume or any of that shit, as you guys know. Sand plus 7%. Philiconin must be happy. He's long. Jesus Christ. Talk about an open there. Yeah, I mean, now you look at this. Where do you want to buy this thing, right? Back into here. If you get any sort of retest of 80 cents on sand, I think that's a pretty straightforward buy. right? If we get some sort of pullback here, that's your buy. But we're already at $1.10, so that's a big ass dump. But yeah, this is bullish as shit. I know what you're trying to do, Jose C1, with what you just wrote there. I'm not going to give you the satisfaction of saying that out loud. Can you explain bullish or bearish? Is that a serious question, or are you just fucking with me, dude? Can you look at Alice? Sure. Oops, what the fuck happened? I'm gonna cut it short here pretty soon. My mom's already pouring wine, so I can tell it's time for me to get off here, guys. Alice looks pretty good, guys. We've got kind of this SR here that we're kind of contending with. I would imagine if we continue to hold above here, expansion comes, right? Zoom in a little bit to the 12-hour. We're in a little bit of a mini uptrend here, right? I would say if you get any sort of move into here, it's a long on Alice, right? Some sort of lower time frame move. Like maybe we do one of these. I would long Alice with a stop there, or on a flip of 23. Though that would be Alice. Alice is like advanced ICP. Okay. Why no volume? Just not something I use, man. I talk about this all the time, right? If you have a system that works and you've gotten the reps in with it, why add things to it? If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Okay. I think I'm gonna end it. Okay, I'll look at Luna and then I'm gonna end it. All right, guys, this stream's been almost an hour and 40 minutes now, so getting a little long in the tooth. And I've been fucking organizing my apartment all weekend, so I'm tired. Okay. I mean, not much to say here. This chart is straight up parabolic. Just broke market structure to the upside. Right? So really, what are you looking to do here? You're looking to buy the dip on this thing into here, I think. Kind of gave you a perfect retest right now. So similar to Alice here, right? You know, you could start getting long into the gray here, or if it runs any of these lows, right? Target there, stop here, or a flip of 36, right? But going to be dependent on what Bitcoin and Ethereum do. Bitcoin and Ethereum start pulling back. A lot of these alts might pull back lower. If this dumps here and then sweeps this low, then that could be a long trigger as well. But right now, leaning towards continuation. All of these charts have broken market structure to the upside, right? So you're buying dips. All right, guys, I'm going to end the stream here. So I hope you guys enjoyed. As usual, if you have any questions, feel free to join my Discord. Message me on Twitter. I do my best to answer DMs. Join the Discord. The link is in the bio of my Twitter. You got to click in the yat, and then there's a bunch of links. One of them is to my Discord. Please retweet these tweets, share the videos, like the videos. It really helps me out. I want to continue to do these for you guys, so that helps me out a lot if you guys could do that. I will have the condensed version of the stream hopefully up tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, I hope you guys learned some. Hope you enjoyed. I will be back on my regular schedule this week as well. My next altcoin video will be coming out on Thursday. I'm going to start recording for it tomorrow and hopefully get all the footage over to my editor ASAP. I feel really bad that it hasn't been as consistent as I wanted it to, but I just had a lot of shit going on. Getting the tattoo and stuff, just haven't been on my game. So we'll absolutely be getting back to a weekly altcoin video on Thursday and the live streams on Sundays. So I hope you guys like these videos. Please like, share, retweet. Tell me how much you love me. It makes me feel good. And yeah, I will talk to you guys on Thursday. See ya.